forward, but keep an eye on see what Doha can get accomplished here as he heads towards that first duplicate. Gumpsu a little bit low, has to back away. Adaptive shield just keeps him alive.
Yes, he actually ends up getting hacked there by Hisu. So that's exactly what I was talking about, where you struggle playing the Wrecking Ball into that Sombra composition.
Billy though, good fight. They managed to clap back pretty early. Doha had his wings clipped right at the beginning of the fight and really wasn't able to have too much of an impact. He's going to switch over to the Sombra now, and Carpe is back on that Tracer, and Hisu's positioned here for an EMP. Doha's going to have his fairly soon as well. Hisu may opt to just try and work down Gumpsu. He's just had no luck so far, and the Primal comes up for Sato. That combined with a large EMP from Hisu. Doha tries to fire back that one. Getting the later EMP seems to sort of throw Philly off their balance. Now Dallas have a chance to actually get something going here. Sato's already too deep as he went in with the Primal at the start of the fight before getting EMP'd. Philly almost at the end of the round. Dallas have a chance here to take control.
Yes, Doha's EMP was way more effective than Hisu's.
Doha straight chilling in the middle of the fight, and Gumpsu went for a Primal Rage. Got hacked very briefly. Overtime now. Fuel seconds away from winning the round. Masato out of the picture. That might actually become a reality. Hisu drops down. Decay pushes forward. Yet another Pulse Bomb. This one more just to zone. Coalescence here, attempt from Alarm. Fury goes in with a self-destruct. It has to be big. Catching Doha might help. 5 players left for the Dallas Fuel now, and Carpe pushes up. He's close to a Pulse Bomb of his own, and that extra burst damage will go a long way. Philly need to get rid of some of these Dallas Fuel players who now position themselves away from the point a little bit more. Crimzo pressured down by Sato, returns to the Wrecking Ball, and Carpe gets the extra damage. There it is, the Pulse Bomb on Gumpsu. Dallas are crumbling. It's a long fight, but they can't stay in it here, and Philly getting themselves the first round on Busan. Traces are just trying to do that right now. Gumpsu low, still went to the high ground and challenged Sato, or has to get out. It was a biotic grenade thrown in by Alarm to keep him topped up. Now the point is open for the taking. If Decay moves, this is going to have to force a response from Philadelphia. And close, he gets caught out. Sato's able to corner him off from the rest of the team, and Philly just wiped the floor with Dallas early.
As Sato gets into the backline and takes out Closer, just look at from Alarm's POV how much help he has on the Ana, right? Dallas, they want to jump on top of him, but Fury is right there. Funny Astro is there to help protect him.
And now the Fuel have 2 support ultimates here, and they get in charge of the point. So they win a fight cheaply and have a bank of ultimates. This should be good for at least 30% if they play the card.
Oh, absolutely. You think they win this fight, right? Just behind the Coalescence. Look at the choke that the Philly Fusion are trying to push through, but it's going to be Carpe getting a stick on a Crimzo, but you may have lost too much at this moment in time.
He's able to at least interrupt the Coalescence, but you're right, it's a little bit too little too late, and Dallas still get value from Coalescence before...
Coalescence says you can build up this Moira ultimate rather quickly, as that'll be the Coalescence to kick it off from Alarm.
There it is, Doha EMP. This one, very good. It doesn't interrupt Alarm's Coalescence here, but Carpe and Sato were playing outside. They got EMP'd and they couldn't crawl back to the safety of that left side room to benefit from the healing. Dallas, again, it's cheaply won. Still not having to really use those support ultimates. Crimzo already has his Coalescence back after losing it. That should buy enough time, and yes, Coalescence is for both sides now. Hisu's looking for the ideal EMP setup and gets both main tanks, but great timing. Closer is able to hit a sound barrier from the back. Gumpsu and Noda now kept protected whilst unable to use their abilities. Can't say the same for Crimzo and Doha though. Fury finds the self-destruct kill, and not ideal to lose your Moira here for the Fuel, but Philly without supports as well. I don't know how Sato stays alive in this fight without bulk healing, and Decay just steps inside of his bubble and finishes the job. Hisu playing the low ground, but Fury is done, and Dallas make it one apiece. Already sparks flying in this first match.
Sombra able to connect with 3 there. It's a huge difference in that fight.
All right, another healing cooldown to base a fight around Philadelphia. Try and push forward again with Alarm's Coalescence. They catch Doha this time, and Gumpsu got hacked early. And these fights are being won and lost off the basis of either Coalescence or the EMP right now. 2 of the big game changers. Coalescence really favoring the team that is able to focus and target down early.
Well, we never really talk about Coalescence, like the actual function of the ultimate.
He and everyone from Dallas drop down and try and give him the best line of sight, and fortuitously the barriers also fall this part of the fight. Handy for Coalescence and for getting everybody with the EMP. Sato and Fury are hit. Fury already self the self-destruct in, but Alarm has fallen to Decay because his tanks could not peel in that window. So Philly once again are 99% map, but they are lacking some key elements in this fight.
Yeah, and I don't know how it happens, but you can't lose Hisu early like that, and then we get an EMP from Hisu at the end. It
looked really good. Shame no one else was there to see it.
Which I won't get them.
Decay getting tickled a little bit there. Well, they need support. Old Sato is hacked and low and he's down. Decay finds him. And now he has a pulse bomb for later in the fight. That one is likely meant for Fury or whoever he can catch. Sound barrier from Funny Astro catches 4, but Fury loses his instantly. He's hacked. He needs help. Someone from Philly has to turn around and do something about it, but the late fight EMP might be just what the doctor ordered.
Oh, and Note gets
blown up.
denacked.
Note lost his mech. He lost his mech. Fury managed to get the self-destruct on him, and now the coalescence at Philly. Oh, they're at the slot machine, Matt, and it comes up. Gold for them. They find important game-changing ult one after. Philly extra careful of exposing low-health players to Doha right now. Note taking some damage. The Mercy here for the Dallas Fuel, making it pretty easy to triage, get healing across everybody, but Guangzhou got hacked on the low ground, and that's as you mentioned, Matt. Wrecking Ball, really ineffective when those abilities are taken away. And Closer and Doha both are down.
And it just causes panic. Like, when Guangzhou gets hacked, I'm sure the comms from the Dallas Fuel are pretty chaotic, because he's saying he has
been moving pretty much this entire time. Philly identified that Dallas wanted to disengage, and they'd also used the ultimate, so they were said, okay, we'll go to the cart, we'll force them down onto the high ground, and this is one-sided as it gets. Dallas are yet to score a kill here on Gibraltar, and the snowballing nature of this map continues to be demonstrated.
Yep, that's all you need here is an EMP to get it going. More switches now have to come in for the...
Now, Hisu knows where Doha is, but the opposite is not true. Let's see what we could make of that one. Sato and Fury, yeah, they dive straight into an EMP there. Not the start of the fight they were looking for at all. Hisu either lets himself get eliminated or didn't have a translocator down. Regardless, Philly, again, eat another fat L, and they'll be back to spawn.
Yeah, they trade their own coalescence for the enemy EMP. That's kind of what you're trying to do there. You don't want to invest super heavy for Philly at the beginning, especially with your own EMP first, because then there's a good chance that Noah just comes out of...
Going in first, Dallas look really comfortable. They're playing reactive, man. It's paying off. Funny Astro. Okay, manages to get out. Note de-suited, but it's going to be an EMP here. Another questionable one from Doha. They catch Sato, but is that really enough? Sound barrier kept Sato ticking along nicely, and then he finishes off Crimzo. He'll have a Primal Rage, but more importantly, there's an EMP from Hisu if it's necessary. Funny Astro was tearing heads off, though. As time ticks down, the Fusion are in position now to push to the last point here. Another questionable EMP from Doha made that a little bit tough for Dallas, and now he switches over to the Doomfist. It's going to be a sound barrier inside Spore, but the Fuel lose it. Another good EMP from Hisu, and Sato is blocking the door with this Primal Rage. Patience there from Guangzhou. He waits it out, then pushes out to the Payload, and Hisu will play around the left-hand side. Doha tried the Bastion. Unfortunately, that came crumbling down. Note now finished off. Crimzo trying to stick around to the point, and Guangzhou had Primal Rage, but he was hacked, and then he got blown up by the self-destruct. Philly get the map done, but it is far, and I mean far from pretty.
Doha's Alarm's going to have a nano boost here, so we'll see who he decides to put this one on. Most likely Sato. Let him try and make a play.
Yep, Sato in, boosted away instantly by Closer. Keeps himself alive. Sato still gets what he wants. He gets Decay for free, but crucially forces Dallas back, breaks the momentum down, and that sort of sets the stage now for Sombras to really decide how this next fight goes. Keep an eye on a coalescence from Crimzo. He gets to use it, but Note is still hacked and isn't able to benefit from the healer. He's out of the mech now. Fury backs up, takes an EMP himself, but he's not the target. Guangzhou tried to dive on in, and they got Sato at the very least. That was an EMP from Doha that was fine, totally fine. But Dallas was still in the server room and not in a great spot to get key targets away from Philly.
Yeah, it connects with 4 players, and now you have Decay coming back in, a pulse bomb thrown in. Funny Astro will use a sound barrier, try and keep everybody up, as Philly does not want to give this up.
Closer's barrier is crucial here, but they've lost Crimzo already, and Closer can't use it now. He's not in line of sight. Sato, whether he knew that or not, forcing Closer into the server room when no one would have benefited from the sound barrier if he'd used it, was able to negate a sound barrier of his own in this fight, but they start off with a safe play. Philly go for the nano boost to Sato, and yeah, Lucio was down already. 25 seconds remain for Dallas to get point A. Here's that EMP. It catches 3, but who's Doha looking for? Carpe trying to run away. They get alarm. Fury for a self-destruct now, and Guangzhou finds the final Primal Rage kill.
Yeah, as the EMP connects with both supports, as they push them all the way back, as that may be enough for the Dallas Fuel. As you see Note looking towards the high ground. Sato at the end of his Primal Rage going to come over the top. Funny Astro going to come in with the sound barrier, but it's not in time.
Oh, and it's only him and Alarm anyway. Well, Dallas and Philly are even on sound barriers. Okay, that's interesting positioning for a coalescence. Oh my, that is not acceptable. Alarm drops down. I know he wants to keep Sato in line of sight, but as soon as he gets EMP'd, he has nowhere to go, and Philly just capitulate in that fight.
And do you attack this once more if you're Philly, or do you decide to give it up? You still have Fury and Carpe up on the high ground, and they can remain pretty healthy here in this position.
Crimzo gets Carpe here, and yeah, the Philly are already playing sort of a lost fight, but they don't really have any time. They need to come back in here and keep the card from reaching that objective. Sado, they're going to try and use him aggressively. He has Primal Rage to buy a bit of time. The spawn is much closer right now for Philly, so they are technically advantaged in that regard. Carpe catches Decay, long range headshot, he'll take it, he won't complain. Sado with Primal Rage will play behind the cart. That large health pool is handy, but he's hacked, so we can't really get to the high ground at all. Carpe benefiting a little bit from Alarm Biotic Orb, who then has to fade to stay alive. Now Fury enters the ring. Doha is cutting them down one at a time though. Hisu, EMP here. Yeah,
EMP self-destruct.
If Philly can get a fight win here, it would be huge. Gamsu goes down to the self-destruct. Decay has to get on out with the recall, and Doha finds an EMP of his own. But Gamsu's down. He fell to the bomb. Decay's going to return, and Crimzo sitting in the back just trying to keep closer. Nice and healthy. Decay getting sprayed as well. He needs that biotic grasp right now. A big pulse bomb could end it. Sado is now down, and Gamsu has returned to the fight with Primal. Yep, they get the point, Dallas. 90 seconds left to finish the match. And comes up with the goods. Doha, you know what he's trying to do. Yes, it's an EMP. It catches both Sado and Fury, and that's perfect. You don't need many EMP targets when you hit a Winston who's about to get his Primal Rage. Fury's now down. Philly is starting to run out of stalling options. Alarm waits, but might be blocked as he tries to move to the card. He tries to stay alive with a biotic grasp. A bit of extra help, but it's not enough. Sado, Primal Rage. He steps forward. They're in overtime. Dallas almost lost the round there by getting knocked off the card, but Fury returns. He has the self-destruct, but he was hacked. Can't use it. Sound barrier for Funny Astro for 2. Fury down. Now Alarm steps up. Both teams neck and neck on Gibraltar, and both will have a minute left to work with.
Towards the end there was a really nice EMP from
Tickle, but he can't do anything about it. Decay is like a swarm of hornets, and he drops the pulse bomb in. Fury is desuited as a result. Decay now continuing to push into the backside, and Doha from the front. So many elusive threats here for Dallas, and Philly just can't keep track of all of them. Hisu there is in trouble. He had to translocate out, and he was found instantly. Goes for an EMP, catches Gamsu, but the sound barrier is very good from Closer. And Crimzo will put a cherry on top with a nice looking coalescence, and Dallas this time, they get it right. And AWOL.
And now the card's going to get to this awkward position yet again. It's not a bad spot for the defenders to play from with the card here.
Dallas only lose here if they make a crucial mistake. Great focus on Asado. That is perfect. Now, things start to get dicey. Sure, Philly have Hisu back in the fight, but Doha is way ahead of that EMP. If it's a long fight, Dallas will have the advantage, especially with Coalescence coming up soon too. Both teams going to go for it. Fury gets desuited before he can get healed up by Alarm. That's a crucial engagement. Funny Astro, he's hacked. He had no chance to use the sound barrier, and Dallas Fuel get themselves the map against Philly here on...
Get her on the high ground, but now Alarm's been pushed to the back. It's way harder to get these big, impactful biotic grenades, as Philly's going to have to get on to get a touch.
Yeah, they go forward now. They've managed to isolate Crimzo from the rest of his team. He's trying to coalescence, but many of the Fuel are already around the corner. That's because they went all in to try and get Alarm, and they did. Yeah. So Crimzo won't be punished there for not being able to heal all 5 of his teammates at the same time.
That's also why it's so important for Urana not to give up high ground. It's way easier at that.
Do they try and work Note down? In fact, Note takes almost no damage, so either they weren't going for Note with the EMP or no one was ready to follow up. Either way, Philly, that's another EMP thrown away. It was brought up on the desk. Both teams have done it now. Sado trying to get around a corner. That is clever. Pulse bomb was left there for him, and Decay's able to finish off Sado. The Dallas Fuel are rolling with a bit of momentum now. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Good pulse bomb stick, considering Note was still in his mech and had just used Defense Matrix.
That was as good of a timing you can get. I mean, it looked like the Defense Matrix is up. Maybe just a little bit to the side. Didn't need that pulse bomb, but it wouldn't be ideal.
Doha gets the EMP.
Oh, he connects with Alarm too.
Alarm still gets the nano boost off on Asado though, so it looks like Dallas just tried to turn on Fury instead. It works there. They still get a target for that EMP, but they are trading for 1 kill. The hope is that it cascades into more, and with Decay as a loose end here, able to wrap back around behind Carpe, and looking like it's very likely.
Yeah, it's a much like safer version of like the way we used to see EMPs used. Like EMPs, you would really kind of like lurk and try and find supports and negate support ults and whatnot. Now here, but they don't have the clock on their side with only 37 seconds to go, as Decay somehow gets a pick on Carpe, and that's at the benefit of a hack.
Yeah, Carpe hacked up as he tried to push in. Gamsu had already dove, and they were trying to respond. Sound barrier now out from Bunny Astron without Guangzhou. There's going to be no shield, just defense matrix in Dallas. Reasonably don't want to try and fight this. Still, Doha is able to get the solo kill on Hisu.
So we'll see Dallas with a sound barrier coming in here as a pulse bomb comes from Decay, and that's going to be a sound barrier to use right away with an EMP to negate it.
Yeah, that's Fury! There it is! Haven't seen many multi-bomb kills, which is strange considering there's a dive comes, but Carpe gets 2 as well. And Philly flicked the switch, and it's not an EMP. They shut the Dallas fuel down. But Carpe and Fury, good friends. I know Carpe wanted Fury on his team for quite some time. They get their wishes, and now, so do Philly side of him.
This is exactly what Dallas wants, though, Mitch. I mean, they can play the mirror, they can play these fights almost like a control point, just heads up, as they do lose Guangzhou early, Carpe with a pulse bomb, and that'll be a coalescence from Alarm. So this is Philly putting all the pressure on.
Yeah, both Traces get pulse bombs, and Decay looks a little bit better, but 2 ticks already for the Philly Fusion. Carpe playing back a little bit more right now as Crimzo has the Coalescence, but Dallas haven't actually done much with the Coalescence except just sort of stay alive. They stay in the fight, but it doesn't advance their cause whatsoever, especially because Philly just disengage around the point, their break opportunities. Hisu, though, again, goes for an early EMP. All right, only 3 players EMP'd from 2 uses of it across the map, but Alarm and Bunny Astro both get hacked, and that's perfect. Astro gets a sound barrier off, which keeps Philly alive a little bit longer in the fight, but it doesn't really help them.
And both sound barriers are good. The one from Closer and the one from Bunny Astro, both about equal, right? They connect with a majority of the team. They keep everybody up through those EMPs.
Players on Philly are affected by Doha's, and it's a quick pick on Sado. But this time, Matt, there's no investment of ultimates from Philly.
As you say that.
Hisu goes for an EMP.
And a self-destruct there. With all those going on, Carpe is almost able to backcap.
And Carpe finds a kill on Guangzhou too.
And now you may be able to run this back in if you're Philly. Look how close Carpe got this to going in.
Yeah, they're going to double down though. The Dallas Fuel see that Philly have that wicked intent in their eyes. They want to try and get this checkpoint now, so it's a sound barrier. Carpe almost gets there. Philly go for a risky play by, using an EMP when they're missing a couple players. Doesn't work in the long run. It allows them to get to a position to fight for the point, but Fury's going to back away. Alarm's trying to chase him there and get healing, but now Alarm is baited into Decay, and then he can't get away once the pulse bomb comes down. And yet, this is the way the Philadelphia Fusion go. They take risks. This one, however, there are no dividends on that one.
It looked like, though, it was
the way that he threw his translocator there, but didn't use it. He holds onto it and gets a hack on Sado, who can't get back to safety now, and he is very deep in enemy territory. No, you could say the same about him. Carpe gets him out of the mech now, and that's the EMP. Carpe gets a sound barrier, though, so Matt, you kind of teased it. Bunny Astro was lying in wait for a chance to keep his team durable during EMP.
That's a big one.
And now Dallas get hit with one of their own, and Guangzhou just explodes. Decay trying to push forward now, and Note is no longer hacked, so he's able to get that defense matrix in play. Crimzo was hacked, and all he could do was hide, so Carpe just chases him down, and they get what they want in that fight. They get an EMP, but more importantly, Matt, Bunny Astro gets a sound barrier with
that EMP.
Guangzhou in early. Can anyone follow him up? Crimzo can't. That is fantastic. The hack on the Moira means that either Guangzhou gets no healing while he's deep, or the Moira just gets caught out. Now, Guangzhou had to use Primal Rage to get 1 kill on Sado. That's not worth it. Now, one hack on that Moira really turns Dallas's old economy to mush.
Yes, now Philly, they'll continue to move the cart. Getting close.
Wants to keep the pressure up, wants to stay aggressive. Doha's able to interrupt the Coalescence, but Bunny Astro once again. Bunny Astro holds on to the sound barrier after the EMP. And guess what? Hisu gets rid of Dallas's. Everything's going right for Philadelphia now. The timing, the sequencing, the style, it's all there. And Carpe now is bringing that aggression. Decay's trying to get up towards the cart, but now Dallas have lost their ultimates. They have to dig deep to try and stop Philly here. 13 seconds left in the round, but Philadelphia only have to finish the map. Big damage on Guangzhou. Note also took a beating from the pulse bomb, and Crimzo is finished off. Philadelphia Fusion, they dot their I's, they cross their T's, and they take Blizzard World away.
Towards the end, it was just so far behind at that point, and one fight can just change everything in a game like this, that you can't risk it.
Oh my gosh, Decay getting taken out early. Bad signs now is, well, Alarm knows he can be a little bit more aggressive. He can step forward and keep Fury and Sado up, who have been really championing the bit to get to the point. Note desuited, and this one is already over.
Yep, that is really fast. As Dallas, they play the bridge. Philly, they have no problem diving up into that room on the right. They're going to engage onto the point, get EMP'd, and then when the the sound barrier comes in from the Dallas Fuel, like to counter the sound barrier that they use, then they would have been impeded off.
Yeah, that means they would have had that sound barrier advantage, and it would have been a net loss for the Dallas Fuel. That didn't happen though. Dallas held on to that ultimate. But Alarm now is starting to throw some hands. Coalescence comes out. Ooh, he barely keeps Sato alive right now, and even that's going to be hard from this kind of distance. He's running out of resources. Spider Grasp isn't going to cut the mustard. Guangzhou's able to get back into spawn. Decay also drives by Carpe, but good focus fire there as well from closer to secure a quick trace to kill. Carpe had no time to even think about recalling, and Dallas looked good defensively here.
Yes, Decay gets 3 of that.
Sato goes in over the top. Alarm's getting close to a Coalescence of his own, and closer is the next closest support ultimate for Dallas. It's still a ways off. Guangzhou is hacked. He's forced to just flail about there. Beat his chest in vain. As Decay's Pulse Bomb goes the way of many Pulse Bombs before into the defense matrix, and here's that Coalescence of Alarms, and it comes at a great time. It comes late in the fight, when Closer and Crimso's healing resources are already stretched to their limit, so Philly get to go over the top. Overhealing gets them there. Sound barrier for the Fuel doesn't let them get back onto the point.
So that'll be Philly completing it with 2 minutes.
That sort of late switch, but Hisu has to get out. Takes a lot of damage just from the Winston over the top.
Sato's so
he's in
weak.
trouble. Now, Alarm was trying to chase him, I think, but he got there a little bit too late. He sort of fades in after all the action's done. But still, the Winstons are traded out. So what does Note do now as the next most durable member? Prevent Hisu from hacking him by getting some early damage. Micro Rockets force the Translocator away. Philly maintaining a token resistance on this point. They're not committing, though. They're playing real safe.
Yes, Philly's just trying to buy time. As a defensive team, there's no need to be the aggressor here, as Node will actually eat up that pulse bomb from Carpe, and this will be Crimzo using the Coalescence, so now it's go time for the Fuel.
Alarm has his 2, and that's the hack. The EMP coming in first. Hisu gets there earlier than Doha, and time for Hisu to get that ultimate back by playing forward as they are. But Fury gets caught out. You can't always account for the burst damage of a pulse bomb. Sound barrier even being committed for Dallas here. So Philly will probably just take an L here, back away, and if there's any chance to stall out, they'll try. With Crimzo out of the picture, Dallas have less staying power, less sustainability here, but it's unlikely to slow them down much.
Yeah, so it's going to be Philly Fusion just backing out on this. See if they get the few players back. May try and just contest it, but looks like Carpe's still there, Hisu's still there. They're going to back up. So funny, Astro throws himself on the point. He'll get a faster respawn. And now the Philadelphia Fusion have to hold this off. He's not going to go as Translocator is destroyed.
Okay, Carpe's Pulse Bomb is eaten. Hisu just staying safe right now. So it's an early Coalescence. Okay, that's the EMP's on 5. It doesn't stop Crimzo though. That was the one person you wanted to prevent from getting an ultimate off, especially after Doha had already used his EMP. So as a result, Hisu does drop it as a trade. Decay for Hisu. You probably take that trade if you're Philadelphia. Fury tries to get back into the mech, but he's interrupted. That is a gigantic pick-off. And now Guangzhou's able to use a Primal Rage to stall this fight. Everything's going right for Dallas here. They'll have to go for a sound barrier, which won't be interrupted. They'll get full value out of that one, and Sato goes for Primal Rage, but he is hacked. Note finds another one. He's everywhere right now. Funny Hastro moved out of the way and destroyed. Sato trying to drop to the low ground for the Mega Health Pack, but he's going to have no luck there either. Hisu has to translocate out. Note with the self-destruct on point, waiting for someone, anybody to come up and test the Dallas Fuel. They're starting to burn, and Philadelphia left in their trail so far. Carpe's already forced to go for a recall as he gets to the point, and here's the Coalescence from Crimzo. Peeking in on the left, you can see Sato trying to find a way in, but there is none. Dallas Fuel are closing every exit point to this area, and the healing has been sublime. Dallas get the round done, but in under a minute. Okay, Sato keeps himself alive long enough, but with all the focus on keeping the Winston alive, Carpe also needed to be healed. Dallas are running out of time. That was supposed to be their big opportunity. They've now let that one sail. Crimzo a little bit low. Note's just trying to, again, pressure Sato down, who's hacked once more. The Sombras are such a big factor in this match. Good defense matrix from Fury, but it can't protect Sato from the Coalescence. That one comes out first. Alarm gets one here as well, but he gets burnt down. Still, Carpe finds 2 kills late in the fight, despite the fact that he's missing his Moira. Now trying to work Note down. He's desuited. Despite the fact that Dallas have 2 healers in play, Carpe and Co are able to get rid of key targets. Carpe now, it was a hacked health pack, so that mini is going to be respawning rather quickly. But Carpe has no recall. He has to break line of sight. Crimzo's hacked. Carpe down. Hisu can't finish the job. Crimzo would fall from the fight. Gets rid of the Sombra on his own. Moira's a support, by the way. Cool story. The Dallas Fuel are going to catch the point A. Heroics from the Canadian national Crimzo. The moment he got Primal Rage, the hack came in too late from history to prevent that from happening, but now here's an EMP on to 5 people. Dallas now running on fumes. Still, Doha able to get a hack of his own, but Funny Astro still provides a crucial sound barrier. Doha is down, and Dallas can't get to the point. It would have been a long walk for them without their abilities. And they fade forward to help his tanks for the next few seconds now. I think that's what Sato was hoping to achieve. Sato hacked, though, in a really compromising position. Now Sato and Fury are very split up. Fury goes for a bit of that defense matrix, but notice the first one to be desuited. Doha sets up his translocator, but this whole time the point's being captured. Dallas, they need to step up. Carpe falls, a lot of burst damage leveraged at him and nothing he could do. And Alarm's gonna find no. Here come the coalescences though as the fight now hits another gear. Gamsu finds Funny Astro, the healing is available. That's a huge EMP though. Doha and Gamsu shut down. And Philly, again off the back of key ultimates, are able to take this first fight. They'll have 1.5 minutes, just over 90 seconds to hit point B.
Take all they need. Primal Rage, self-destruct, sound barrier, a lot to work with. Isato goes in deep, gets to a closer.
Getting closer so early in the fight. Matt, he lost the sound barrier. No opportunity for that at all. And that really is the straw that's going to break the back here of the fuel. You think it's being combustible, it would actually help Dallas. Well, no, that's not how my analogy works. Deal with it. Alarm down, but that's all Philly have lost so far in this fight. Shoving Node off the point. Remember, just one tick is all they need, and they will have it. Philadelphia this time evade the almost guaranteed.